Atelier Ryza gets a Western release date. A juicy tidbit of information comes out about Persona 5 Royal and Final Fantasy XIV, the TV show. We've got all that and much more coming up on episode 66 of the JRPG Report. Hello, fans and friends. Welcome back to episode 66 of the JRPG Report. My name is James Fisher. Thank you so much for tuning in another week. We've got a ton of really cool stories to talk about, some details, some quick hits, and even some odd information and some maybe surprising news as well. I keep on thinking we're going to get a slow week of information, but that is not the case this week either, as you will soon find out. First, let me just say that all the stories that have videos that I'll be talking about, you can head on over to the JRPG Report Facebook page, and I've got links to all those right there in one spot, so you can quickly navigate through and see kind of what we're talking about here, and give you a little more context on those happenings. So let's get into it. The first thing I want to talk about is Atelier Ryza, the Ever Darkness and the Secret Hideout. What is coming to PlayStation 4, Switch, and PC in North America on October the 29th, and Europe gets it a few days later on November 1st. Koei Tecmo and developer Gust announced, and that's I think right about a month after its Japanese release, so that's a pretty quick turnaround. I was not really anticipating this game in the West until late 2019, possibly into early 2020, but they look like they are rocking and rolling along with this one. As usual, NAS America took no time in wasting that there will also be the limited edition of the game coming out for $100. You, of course, get the copy of the game, the official art book, keychain, art cards, cloth poster, and the collector's box. You can pre-order that through the NIS America store for PlayStation 4 and Switch. We also got some new details about this one. Just kind of, we'll give you the overview of the game quickly to kind of set the stage, and then I'll get into some of the things that came out about it. They say this is an all-new storyline arc in the Gust Studios fan-favorite Atelier series. The beautiful role-playing game follows the exploits of teenage tomboy Ryza, who dreams of escaping her mundane village lifestyle, alongside her band of mischievous friends. Well, that's like half of JRPG plot lines there in a nutshell. One day, as they explore a forbidden island in search of adventure, they meet an elderly magician who will change their lives forever. After some convincing, the old man begins teaching Ryza the enchanting ways of alchemy, launching her own adventure that will ultimately lead her on a quest to save her hometown from the mysterious and deadly darkness lurking beneath the surface. So again, checking off nearly every JRPG requirement. But that's why we love this genre, right? It's always got all those elements to it, and I welcome that with open arms. They say in order to showcase the vibrant environment surrounding Ryza, Gust Studios instituted more realistic shadows, giving birth to a world that feels more expansive and filled with life. In addition, the fantastical depictions of the game's colorful characters continue, pushing the series forward with a mix of both new and familiar visual sparkle. The game also introduces RPG fans to an all-new evolved synthesis program that enables alchemists to visually have a better understanding of the effects of synthesis. Additionally, the system allows everyone to not only enjoy the experience of developing recipes, but the ability to use the innovative creation system to gather items in the field using various tools. Different tools uncover different items at the same location before crafting unique items never before seen in the series. Said there were some more details. Let's see, we got some new characters. We have, and these are some. I'll give them the story may be a bit cliche, but the names are just as crazy as ever. The wandering alchemist researching the ruins, his name is Impel Valmer. He rents out a house in town. He is quite knowledgeable, although he has a mysterious past, and he is no longer able to use alchemy. They say he is a battle party member. We've got Boss Brunin, B-O-S. He is a son of the Brunin family and an influential man. He is arrogant and prideful, but wields great political power. He has both influence and intelligence. There is Lombard Dorn. He is this is their description, a coward who is loyal to the strong. He is Boss's right-hand man, and he makes fun of Ryza and her friends. Then we have Boss's father. His name is Moritz. He said though he is good at what he does not have a great reputation. And they those synthesis they said there's the gathering point synthesis. So they mentioned there would be different things you could get from different spots based on the items that you use. There was even a pre-order bonus. This may be Japan only. Yeah, okay, so this is Japan only, but we may see something like that come over west. There is if you get it early in pre-order, it will include the Summer Adventure bonus costume downloadable for Ryza. So if you're thinking about getting this one from Japan, you can do that. They say additionally, physical copies of the game will include a download code for the extra sound collection, which lets you download songs from the game to enjoy outside of the game itself. That's pretty cool. Always like to get those little bonus tidbits thrown at you. So let's go over. That was kind of the big breaking news. We had the announcement before the announcement of, and you always love to see that we're going to have an announcement. So here's the announcement about it. And so we got that a couple days before them actually breaking this one. Again, that's Chile Ryza coming to the West, October the 29th. And that's North America, and then Europe gets it on November the 1st. We had some information that Disgaea 4 Complete Plus will also launch the same day, October 29th in North America and Europe. That is for PS4 and Switch. The countries in Oceania will get it on November the 5th. Big news for NIS fans, as well as Nippon Ichi, and all the good stuff that we talked about, financial worries for the company, perhaps. If you care about their fate, I believe that you're going to need to want to support them and spread the news and try to pick this one up. They will greatly appreciate your help, I am sure. Now, I put a link on the Facebook page because NIS America is currently hosting a contest to choose the reverse cover sheet included with the final release. So I put the link on there. That voting goes on until July the 11th. So if you want to say in what the back of your cover says, well, this is your chance to shine. God Eater 3 version 1.4 update will launch, actually, as of this recording, tomorrow on June the 28th. Bandai Namco announced during its latest God Eater series official broadcast. This version adds new time attack missions and new costumes. We had again announcement about the announcement. A game that we talked about was missing back at E3, Project Sakura Wars, however you want to say it. And they released a data dump about this game. It went from us knowing nothing about it to us knowing everything about it practically. Again, on the Facebook page, I put the link to their presentation, and it's got some timestamps on there as well. And they break this thing down for you guys. And so when I'm talking about a game like this, or to be fair, a game like Fire Emblem, I have a hard time kind of talking about much, especially through the medium as a podcast limits us to. And that's because I really have no context on it. I'll be fair and honest. I've told you guys this before. I've never played the Fire Emblem series, and I've certainly never played Sakura Wars. So I'm reading up on it, and I know it's something that you guys could be interested in, and I don't even know how to begin to describe it because it's a very different, odd concept to me. So what I'm basically just going to tell you is, I've got the link on the Facebook page if you guys want to see it. It's kind of one of those things like it's better to see because there's just so much out there that they talked about in this one. I mean, they broke down all the characters, the locations. I still don't understand what it is that they were doing because it kind of sounds like this, like theater and this ship, and then you're going to war. I'm lost. So it's there for you guys to check out. I wish I could tell you more than that. I wish I could say that I played these games and I know what in the world's going on, but I would just be lying through my teeth, and I don't want to do that to you guys. So there you go. We had some information on this is on a few things on the Facebook page as well. Some new characters were released for Ys 9 and supporting characters as well. The new character that kind of looks the coolest, in my opinion, is her name is Aprilis. I guess that's how you say it. It's the name April, and then they added IS to the end of it. And she is a hooded woman with determined eyes and an artificial arm and leg who meets Adel in the prison city. Her body always seems to be wounded or tired. Well, if you were half machine, you might feel that way too. You have Carla, who is a merchant. She's an excellent merchant, hungry for the future. We have Kalisha. She says she is a second daughter of the Pendleton family, who are known as wealthy merchants. You've got Rich. He is the head of the Pendleton family. Looks like a rich baron, to say the least. You got this guy named Parks. He kind of looks like an old nerd. He's a late middle-aged man, carefree, and he was also incarcerated in the prison. And then you've got the energetic girl named Yufa. She is a waitress at the bar Daffodilin. We've got Chant, who also works. Oh my. He is a carefree drag queen who runs the bar. Haven't seen that stereotype before. That's good stuff. So yeah, a lot of information about these new characters that are going to be in the game. I put a link to the new web commercial. They say that might show off some more stuff as well. Colorful characters making up this Ys 9 world, to say the least. We got a release date for Ark of Alchemist. It's coming to the Switch on October the 10th in Japan. They previously announced that this is coming out for PS4 later this winter in the West. Promising looking title. Also shared the link to the player on that one. The Switch version will include all new features, saying you can control all the party members, not just Quinn. Freely form your party and enjoy battle and field traversal while operating your favorite characters, whether it is Sharon, who can attack a group of enemies in one swoop from a distance, or Sandra, who specializes in defense. Each character has its own unexpected quirks. They say this new Switch version is easier to play. By adding high-value items that can be converted into money, it is now easier to fully realize your base, making character development easier as well. Not my cup of tea, but the wife has certainly enjoyed the Rune Factory games over the years. And Rune Factory 4 Special will have downloadable content called Another Episode. Marvelous announced during the latest Rune Factory channel broadcast today. Another Episode is a series of voice dramas for the hero and heroine candidates. There's 12 total, composed of newly recorded voiceovers and illustrations. The previously teased Ventus Will Another Episode is included with the game. Rune Factory 4 Special is due out for the Switch on July 25th in Japan and sometime in 2019 in North America and Europe. The Alliance Alive HD Remaster for PS4 and Switch will be coming on October the 8th in North America, October 11th in Europe, and October the 18th in the Oceania countries. Publisher NIS America announced today. The PC release date will be announced at a later time. You guys remember this was a 3DS title from a few years ago, and I've shared the trailer on the Facebook page for this as well. This is really cool. They do a side-by-side with the 3DS graphics as opposed to these high-def ones, and it's quite remarkable. I mean, it's what you'd expect to see going from something like the 3DS. It's just really cool to actually see how much they were able to improve it. It looks really nice. It looks like a cool game. So here's a short about the game from NIS America. They say, in an age of darkness has befallen the world. The Dark Current, which is a cataclysmic event caused by the demon's emergence, has decimated the population and divided land into separate regions, leaving the survivors to be subjugated by demonic overlords. To reclaim their home and free their people, an unlikely fellowship of heroes will band together to spark a fiery revolution, explore various realms, gain new skills in the heat of battle, and form alliances to stand against the demons. Key features include a vivid world. You can explore numerous themed realms, including using ships, animal mounts, and flying machines. They say it is forged in battle to ignite your determination, to execute critical attacks and awaken new skills for your characters mid-battle. They say stand together, form alliances with various skills to bolster your strength while gaining access to new vehicles, areas, magic, and more. Promising looking title to say the least. The one that I missed on 3DS, so maybe something pick up on sale down the road. That's the Alliance HD Remastered, coming to PS4 and Switch October the 8th in North America, October 11th in Europe, and the 18th in the Oceania countries. We got a couple quick notes about, I'm not going to go through every single thing they talked about. We didn't get a whole lot of information about Elden Ring, but they had a interview with director Hidetaka Miyazaki. That's my best. That's all I can do. We didn't learn a whole lot about it at A3, but he says, quote, it's an evolution of Dark Souls. It is a third-person RPG with a fantasy setting, so the gameplay is not far from Dark Souls. He says that it doesn't mean the gameplay will be identical, but you could say that Elden Ring belongs in the same genre. He says, with a larger world, new systems, and action mechanics inevitably becoming necessary. He says, in a sense, he thinks that is a more natural evolution. So there is a whole long, big interview. He says you get to get around the world on a horse, and you can even fight enemies while riding. He says he wants to offer depth to exploration in Elden Ring in a way that Sekiro Shadows Die Twice did not. Do not expect vibrant villages or towns. Meaning, he says, villages will be dark, dungeon-like ruins that you have to come to expect from us. Creating a more open game is a big challenge for us. If we were to add towns on top of that, it would be a bit too much. So I decided to create an open world style focused on what they are best at. And there's a whole lot more that, of course, it was mentioned that he has been working with George R.R. Martin. He said, it all started with me being a big fan of his work. Game of Thrones is a masterpiece. He says he was a big fan of that. They got in a meeting, and it was easy to move on from there. He said Martin did not write the main story of Elden Ring. Rather, he wrote the events that happened long before the era the player explores. In other words, the mythology of the world. So that's kind of interesting. And maybe that makes more sense since Martin, not a video game writer. And let him do what he's good at, telling stories. He said, finally, there is no fixed main character in the game. We leave it mostly up to the player to decide the characters and personality of the character they create. That's pretty cool. No release date is mentioned for this game yet, and is development for PS4, Xbox One, and PC. So a bit of an odd story, and I teased it at first. Sony Pictures and Hive Mind Entertainment, they produced Amazon's The Expanse and the upcoming Netflix adaptation of The Witcher. They've announced a partnership with Square Enix to develop a live-action adaptation television series of Final Fantasy XIV. Here's an overview from Sony Pictures. It says the television series will tell an original story set in the fantastic world of Final Fantasy XIV. Inspired by the world and characters from the title's 14th installment, the project will embrace the bold and genre-bending sensibilities of the revered and long-running Final Fantasy series, as it explores the struggle between magic and technology in a quest to bring peace to a land in conflict. We'll wait and see on that one. Honestly, the first time I pulled this story up, I did not realize it was going to be live action. So those are always interesting, to say the least. We will see how that turns off. There's no air date for this yet. I dare say this is pretty early in the whole development cycle. So I dare say we're quite a ways away from that as of yet. Not a ton of information revealed in the newest trailer for Persona 5 Royal. It details the character Ryuji, but what it did showcase was his persona merging and forming a new third form that is being called William. And so I've got that trailer linked for you guys on the Facebook page. It's in Japanese, so Lord only knows what they're talking about, but that part was certainly there. It actually looked like there was a team attack between him and Fox as well. So that would be pretty cool and new. It was pretty humorous, to be honest with you, so definitely check that out. Game gets more and more interesting and more looking like it could be a very worthwhile, not completely new entry, but enough changes and additions are going to be made to this game to where I feel like it could be worth a new $60 purchase. We had a interview with Kenichiro Takaki. He used to work at Marvelous, and now he has officially started work at Cygames as the general manager of the console games division. He formerly worked on games like Senran Kagura. You guys may know what that one is, may not. I've only played one of those games in that series, and they're, needless to say, they're a bit over the top with sexuality and well-endowed female characters. So that's, I'm sure that's what most people know him for. But I just found this was interesting, in particular for Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. So here are the notable tidbits from that interview. He says the console games division at Cygames was established back on April the 1st. He was appointed as general manager of that division. He is working on Project Awakening as a producer. He says for titles such as Grand Blue Fantasy Relink and Versus, he's working closely with the team that worked on the original game and serving in a support advisory role. He says there's a number of titles, both aimed at kids and adults, in development. He says the console games division main office is still small. It's only got about 10 members. The development teams for each title are under that division. If you ever see their posts on Instagram, this is their motto. They say Cygames is aiming to become the best studio in the world, and they've they got a ways to go, but I think it's always important to have lofty goals, and why not? Why not aim for the top? He says, the Project Awakening reveal trailer is actual gameplay footage running on PS4 and not a cutscene. He says they are already working and looking at next-gen consoles. There is a big announcement planned for Granblue Fantasy Versus soon. An awesome announcement. He says they are planning on including paper manuals in the physical release. Hopefully they will do the same for Relink. He says that Cygames believes it should be courteous to its gamers, and that production on Granblue Fantasy Relink is going well. Cygames' game engine is developed in-house. The company does not hesitate to use money on things like that. So again, nothing like, concrete that can nail you down on things. But I think, the first thing when most people learned with Relink and the dropping of Platinum Games was, oh no. So moves like this, bringing in an industry veteran to kind of head up your division, I think that's one of those reassuring things. I don't really have... I think Relink is going to be fantastic when it finally comes out, but it may be a ways off. But adding people like this to your team cannot hurt. Kind of get, like this is how game development goes. This is what you need to stick to. These are the things that other companies don't do well. That sounds like Cygames is trying to change that and do a little better. We have an announcement for the announcement again. On June the 29th, so in a couple days from now, Dengeki Online will host a 2-hour Trail Series 15th anniversary commemoration and new title start ? Special broadcast. Interesting, right? So this live stream will be on YouTube. The broadcast will look back on the Trail series with Falcom President Kondo, based on a previously conducted reader survey. During the Trails of Cold Steel part of the retrospective, the actress for Toa will also participate. For the final segment of the broadcast, information on, this is, quote, information on Falcom's latest titles. The schedule teases news on the latest entry in the Trails series. It reads, President Kondo gives curious fans a peek at information in the latest entry of the Trail series right then and there. Unexpected new information may suddenly appear. So it's been a while ago when we got those images for whatever would be the next Trails of series. And this is the perfect place to talk about what's going to happen after Cold Steel 4. Now, that will end the Cold Steel sub-series like, Skies did before. So I do believe this is going to be a brand new trilogy, or whatever you call a 4-part series. The next step, I'm fully expecting that they're very early in development in this, and it'll be... I do believe this will be a PS4 developed game, just based off that artwork that we saw initially. But I do believe this may be one of those titles that you see appear on both consoles, being PS4 and PS5, or the next Switch, or whatever you want to call it. But very interesting, and we will have more information next week on what in the world they end up revealing at this special 15th anniversary Trail Series commemoration. The last thing I want to talk about is Dragon Quest XII. So they definitely teased that this game is in development. No kidding. we know that, but there is a special message that got delivered, and it sounds like they are recruiting new members. The Dragon Quest XI team within Second Development Division has begun work on a new project starting up a challenge unique to Dragon Quest for the next generation. The mission of this project is to, quote, deliver a new appeal of Dragon Quest to fans worldwide. In order to achieve that, we are looking for new party members with the same desire. The planning stages of development have wrapped up, and we are now entering the phase of further improving the game quality. As a new high-definition Dragon Quest title, why not try to create a new Dragon Quest history that moves players like never before with Yuri Hara and the development team? We await the applications of developers who love trying new things. So it certainly sounds like they're hiring new members interested in developing Dragon Quest XII. We are years away from this title, especially in the West. This is... Without reading this, I would have told you this. I think this is a PS5 type, maybe not launch, but shortly after launch title. We may get a, quote unquote lower res version come out on PS4 considering the installed base, but this game is going to be developed for PS5. They're that far off in it. It's exciting to know that they are already working on these things. It's always a plus. But yeah, we're quite a ways away, to say the least. Things are going well in Trails of Cold Steel 2 land. Don't forget you can head on over to the JRPG Report YouTube page and check out our previous live streams, as well as most nights in the 10 to 12 range. Sometimes a few minutes before, sometimes a few minutes after, just depending on when we finally get the kiddo in bed and if I'm exhausted from the day or not. Our days are starting earlier and earlier, it seems like, so staying up that late is beginning more and more of a challenge. But if you want to catch the actual live stream, you can do that most nights around that time range. If you want to add me on PS4, my name is The Last Remaining. That's all one word. The Last Remaining. And we can become friends and you can see what I'm streaming anytime. Or just go onto YouTube and check out JRPG Report. Search for Trails of Cold Steel 2. Don't forget, like us on Facebook. And give us a subscribe over on YouTube. We're accepting support via the Anchor app, where you can listen to this podcast and many more. You can start your own podcast, whatever you want to do, but you can certainly support us as well. You can leave us voicemail questions that we would love to add to the show. But that will wrap up episode 66. I think we've had a fun, semi-short one. And tune back in next week for more JRPG goodness. My name is James Fisher. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will catch you guys again next week. Until then, get back out there and level up.